What's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Addiction. As always, my name is Morphine, and today I really want to break down some very important things, and one of those things is, why don't we have a guide for speedrunning Odyssey yet? Well, we haven't really gotten into it yet. We just broke another world record last night, and now that I have a lot of downtime, especially after games done quick submissions, I really want to sit down and talk to you guys about trying to get into speedrunning Odyssey. And I'm going to break this down into different parts of this guide because we need to go over a lot of things in order to start speedrunning Odyssey. I get a lot of requests on videos about how to do certain tricks, what gear we need, how to do rock launching, the routing issues. Like, there's a lot of things that can play a huge role on trying to speedrun Odyssey. So today we're actually going to sit down and get into that, and we're going to do it all right now. So before we begin, we're going to clarify that this is the New Game Plus requirements. We'll talk about regular any percent later, but for now, the most desired run is New Game Plus because it's the shortest run. So first off, we're going to talk about everything that is listed here. These are all the major requirements that will be needed in order to start speedrunning Odyssey. So the first one is a good CPU, and I know a lot of people will laugh at this option, but it's true. To speedrun Odyssey, you will need to have a PC with a good CPU, so sorry console players, you're not going to compete well on the times because you're only limited to 60 frames in the console, where in reality we need 90 frames to rock launch because of how far it will take us. The higher the frame rate, the more we can launch and the longer the distance we can launch. Alright, so next we need to be level 50. Level 50 is when you start unlocking mastery points, and mastery points are extremely important to the speedrun. It's what's going to help you do more damage, you're going to crit more, you're going to do all the things that you need to do in order to get through the speedrun faster. And that leads us to having the main storyline completed. So generally around the main storyline completion, you should be like mid-30s or so. And the main storyline is dealing with your siblings and your mother. So that's around the point to where you do the Demos storyline, and you should have the demigod armor set by that time. If you hit your escape button or you go back to your menu options and you see that little New Game Plus star, that means you're ready to do New Game Plus. You need to have run-specific abilities, armors, and everything unlocked for the game. So you need to have all your upgrades for your ships unlocked, at least up to epic quality. It's going to be a little bit slower on some certain sailing segments. You may not be able to push very far, but you need to have your ship fully upgraded if you're going to compete in the sailing segments of the game. You're going to need to have all your armor upgrades as well. We'll talk about those later on in the armor and ability section, but armor plays a huge role in this game. It's what's going to dictate how much damage you do and how well you'll be doing in the speedrun as far as battling and killing very quickly. Same as abilities, we're going to have specific speedrun abilities in the speedrun. So those certain abilities will pertain around the bow. We'll have some warrior abilities and certain assassin abilities that will be extremely important throughout the speedrun, and we're going to need those. Those are going to be huge for the run, and we'll also talk about those later as well. So we have to learn how to rock launch, which is next. If you don't know how to rock launch yet, I have 2 demonstration videos that I've put out recently. I have one that's more of a seasoned one, and then I have one where we go into depth about how to do it. I take the time and do like a step-by-step kind of thing with you guys and try to help you guys do that. So if you guys need a link to that, I will put it in the description of this video. It's extremely important to learn rock launching because it's the way that we save so much time on travel. And the very last thing is learning the routing and dialogue options. So we'll definitely go over that step by step to show you guys how to route specifically in the run. Routing is pretty simple, honestly. We pretty much finish the game in the way that the quests kind of pull us through the game. So we're not really doing anything crazy there. The routing is more or less how we're getting to specific areas so quickly, how we're setting up for rock launches, and how are we getting to those quest areas so quickly. So that's a huge thing, and you know, I learned routing just by looking at specific runs and trying to almost mimic in a way of what they're doing, especially with certain tricks and launches. I'll try to find a way to set up on certain things, but honestly, I will help you guys do that myself, and I will sit down with you guys and show you how to do certain launches and how to get to certain positions faster. That is what I want to do to help you guys learn to run. Dialogue options as well are huge. There's a lot of places in the run where we need to choose the right dialogue options in order to get through the game faster. So we'll sit down and do every single dialogue option. We'll kind of do a quicker version of it because it's going to take a lot of time to explain things step by step on just how to do those certain dialogues. So I know an easy way of doing it. It's very simple. The greatest thing about dialogue is you have cues, audio cues, to show us exactly what we need to do in order to skip certain audio. So we'll go over that later, but for now, I just wanted to share to you guys the requirements of what it's going to take to do this run. So let's dive a little bit into what you'll need for a good CPU. Now, you're gonna need something that's a little bit newer. Honestly, something that's not that expensive. For me personally, I believe that Ubisoft games play better on AMD chipsets. And if you look at that little logo right when you load the game, you'll notice that it's sponsored by AMD. But if you don't have an AMD chipset, the Intel cards are still good. You can still run very well in the game on Intel cards. The only way to really tell how well we're doing as far as our CPU and how well our CPU can handle the game is if we can stay around 90 frames comfortably. Now, I don't mean 90 frames in Athens or something, because Athens is a really crappy place to judge your frame rate. Athens is like the worst place in the game because it's so large and it bogs down your computer. So I mean, like, if you're standing out and you're about to do a rock launch, check your frame rate. If it's hanging around like 88, 90, somewhere around there, you should be okay. You want to stay in the mid to high 90s if you can, kind of balance around there. But as long as you can, comfortably stay in a high range on your CPU and on your frame rate, then you should be fine. But these are the cards that I would recommend for people who are trying to get into the speedrun. It needs to have something that's going to keep your frames comfortably around that limit. It needs to have multi-threading. Multi-threading is huge because the way that Assassin's Creed games are made, it needs to have something that can take care of multiple processes at once. And multi-threading is required in almost every Assassin's Creed game that's newer because of all the crap that happens in it. So that's it, guys. My personal recommendations are right there. Personally, I have an AMD Ryzen 5 3600. It was only $150 US. It's cheap. It's not gonna break the bank. It's a good chipset for what it is, and it's really fast. So that's my recommendation. If you guys need anything else as far as a CPU goes, you can always private message me and we can sit down and have a conversation about that. So now let's go over how you'll get to level 50 quickly. Now, I get a lot of questions about this, and honestly, even after level 50, the quickest way that I got to level 99 was doing speedruns. I started speedrunning this game when I hit level 50 for New Game Plus, and every time you speedrun the game, you get about 4 to 6 levels, somewhere in that range. So I just kept speedrunning the game, and eventually I hit level 99. So that's my way of doing it. But my recommendation for getting fast levels is do contract missions and nation battles. So contract missions are found from the little boards posted around the world. Each part of the world has different contract missions. They're refreshed daily. You can do them as much as possible. They're amazing for XP. They also give you a crap ton of drachmae and gear as well. So I would recommend doing those. Also, contract missions usually send you into nation battles, or they kind of coexist with nation battles. So most contract missions will be like, kill this many Athenian soldiers, or kill archers or something like that. So doing that is actually good, because then you could go raid a fort or something, grab the nation chest, kill the nation leader, and spark a nation battle. Then you can go do that nation battle, kill Athenian soldiers, and your contract mission's done. Not only did you get a crap ton of experience for the nation battle, but you also completed the contract at the same time, which is huge XP. So I would definitely recommend doing that combo. That's how I got to 50 really quick. The minute that I hit level 35 and completed the main storyline quest, I went straight to contract missions and hit 50 in probably 3 or 4 hours. I would say it probably took me maybe a little bit longer. I might be just giving myself the benefit of the doubt there, but it doesn't take that long. It's actually pretty quick. For resources, I would recommend Athens wall runs. They're amazing for resources. It's what I use to get my ship fully upgraded. Now the problem with this is getting your ship upgraded at level 50 is really hard. So as you progress through the game and get closer to cap, resources are easier to come by because you get more of them, like collecting olive branches, certain materials on the grounds. You get more from tearing down weapons. All of that stuff is easier as the more you get higher level. So if you're trying to push to get your ship completely upgraded, I would definitely recommend you getting higher level. But like I said, you can start your ship at epic quality and it'll be fine. You can do the runs. At least you can practice them and get a lot under your belt just by having epic quality on your ship. So that's my recommendations on how to get level 50 and how you start kind of building yourself up in an easier fashion. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know we didn't go over everything on this list, such as upgrades for your ships and armors, specific ability unlock, and the reason why we didn't go over those is because it's going to take a really long time to go over those things, specifically piece by piece. So we're going to actually start another video and do that in another section. So if you guys want to hang on and check out that video, that will be posted as well. We're definitely going to go over every single thing that you will possibly need to start this speedrun, the best things that you can do to get yourself in a good standing with the speedrun. As always, guys, my name is Morphine. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys in the next guide video.